All right. All right. So today's webinar is connecting and analyzing your data. In this webinar, we're going to talk about what is Klipfolio. Some people would know that Klipfolio is a dashboarding solution, but what does Klipfolio do? I will go into that a little bit. And what is a data source? We always mention about data sources. You need to have that to build up your own dashboards, but what counts as a data source? And that next topic is why you need to model your data. So this is linked directly with our Power Metrics. And then the last one is how you can analyze your data. When you have a Power Metric, you will see how easy it is to analyze your data. All right, let's moving on. So Klipfolio is a cloud app for creating dashboards, reports, and performing visual analysis. And Klipfolio helps you to stay in control of your business by giving you the visibility into your most important data and metrics wherever you are. So what you're looking at right now is a dashboard that contain information from a lot of applications, Google Analytics, social media, Salesforce. So all of that can be put onto one dashboard. You can design them freely, whatever makes sense to you, you can put them together. So with Klipfolios, you can have access them to through a web browsers. You can put them on the TV screen. You can also see them on your mobile. A lot of our customers do have them on their mobile. So when they wake up first in the morning, they want to see how their business is doing. They will just open up the app and then they will see everything at one glance. All right. So let's talk about data sources. So what is a data source? From the picture showing here, all of this can come as a data source. So they can come from any application that you're using, like Twitter, Xero, Salesforce, or anything else. We have over 200 of them listed in Klipfolio. And the other way that you can put in data sources is, if they're in CFA, JSON, XML, or Excel. And of course, we have other ways. I may show you here. So when you are in a Klipfolio account, when you go into the data source section, I always like to start with my data sources. So data sources build up clips, and the individual clips build up a complete dashboard. So data sources, when you click on create a data source on the top right corner, this is our service connector page. On the left here, we have over 200 different applications that Klipfolio connects with. So all of this is already made a connection. You are free to use any of them. Klipfolio always adding new connectors here. So always check with us before you say, oh, I need to build something my own. Maybe not. Maybe you already have a solution, or maybe you already have experienced it. So make sure that you reach out to us before you try to connect your own data. And as mentioned before, we have the core connectors, which you can upload a file in Excel, XML, CSV, or JSON format. I personally don't suggest my customer to do this, just because whenever you upload a file like this, and then you make some changes to the file, because we are tracking our data with them, any changes that you make, you have to come back into Klipfolio and then re-upload the file. That is time consuming. And at Klipfolio, we want to save your time. We want everything coming automatically, or as much automation as they can be. So what we use is Google Drive, Box, Dropbox, OneDrive, SharePoint, or even Smartsheets. So when you save those files in those applications, Klipfolio has a wonderful connection with them. You can set up the connections, pull in the data source, the file that you want, and create a data source. Whenever you make updates in them, Klipfolio will automatically get the data, and then your dashboard will be refreshed with your updated data. And the next way to bring your data in is using our REST URL. So this is for REST APIs. if you have an application that is not listed on the left, but they do have a really good REST API, you can use this to connect your data. We really prefer this way just because your data come in very neatly, and then you can specify what kind of data you want. You don't bring in a lot of junk, and then you don't have to sort through that. You know, when you are requesting the data, it is cleaning and then sorting before they come into Klipfolio, making your life a lot easier. The next one is SQLs or MS SQLs. So all of this is a database. So if you have your data on a database, make sure that you use this. Bring in data is a piece of cake. It's very simple to do. Or if you do a server, that it works as well. You can use our HTTP server to bring the data in. The last method is called email attachment. So this is for any application that does not have a really good API, but they can send you a recurring email of the report that you set. The report needs to be any of this for format. Again, that's only for format that Klipfolio have we can access it. So make sure that the email is coming, when you click on this, the email coming into this email address. So this is a special email address that's set for your account. Whenever we receive an email in this inbox, we'll treat them as a brand new data refresh. So make sure that is utilized if you want to use that. All right, so after we talk about how you can connect your data portfolio, but what is really a data source? So a data source, or you can call them a data endpoint, is they live outside of Klipfolio. Well, we don't really store any data. We cache them and then we present and visualize them. But then when the new data comes in, we discard the old one. So your data usually lives in the cloud or on premises, which means on your hard drive servers, data warehouse. So when you create a connection with your data source within Klipfolio, and then defining that slice of data you want to pull into the application and how often. So when you are bringing in any data, for example, if I'm bringing Google Analytics, submit, we get some data in, and if I like the data, I can click on continue. I can decide how often do I want the data to come in. So except for Google Analytics, the fastest we can do is every 15 minutes, but any other application, you're able to set them to every minute. So every minute, 5, I think next is 15, and then up to 24 hours. So you can, this is how often you want us to send out a request for your data refresh. And then once we receive that, we will just send them on a clockwork. We send them in, let's say every 4 hours, we send a request, we get some new data in. So you can change that in the future as well. If you don't want certain data source to be refreshed too often, make sure that you are changing them into a longer time period. All right. So next one. So how are your data coming in? As I mentioned before, with your files, databases, applications, emails, all those are able to bring in. Once you bring in your data, building in Klipfolio is very simple. Just make sure that your data coming automatically, they are on a schedule, so you don't have to worry about it, and then Klipfolio will help you to visualize it. All right. So if you know or may not know, some data come in a tablet format. So something like Excel, Google Analytics, Salesforce, or even from your databases, they're all coming in a table. So they look like Excel sheets, everything in the column, they look good. But some of the data, they come in a JSON format. So in Instagram, Facebook, AdWords, a lot of other applications, they come in like this. So they actually have the same information as the one on the left here, but they may not look as easy to work with just because you need to understand Sometimes they have what they call preceding siblings. You have to use XPath to fix that. So what Klipfolio did is we help you to model your data. So when your data looks like this, or if your tableau data is a little messy, you can generate a brand new data source with Klipfolio and then make sure that your data source look like this, and then that will be easy for you to build your clips or even Power Metrics with. So what's the benefit of modeling your data? First, of course, is avoiding duplications of formulas within and across clips that refer to a changed data source. They can update everything in one place and have all the downstream formula within and across clip update automatically. So for example, the first column here, this is actually a date column. This one is a Unix time. This is a computer readable time. It's not human readable time. So when you want to know the time here that, oh, I need to use this data in all of my clips, you need to use a function called date convert, which is not complicated, but you do have to write the same formula over and over and over again for every single thing you do with this data source. But when you use a model data, you can just change this up to a regular human readable time. And then from now on, when you're using the model to build your clips or Power Metrics, this format will stay with you, so you don't have to write the same formula over and over again. So the second benefit, of course, is prepare data for clip building to provide clear, all tabular aligned data, and only need to do it once. Conclusions are built into the model data source and the tree structure data to convert into the table data. Data is easier to understand and visualize, and calculations can be reused across multiple clips. So the next benefit is they can take a data source with multiple sheets and convert it into a single table. Organize and order data from multiple sheets into one simplified data format that does not require you to talk between multiple sheets when building clips. So for a customer who has been with us for a while, you all know that Klipfolio, you can merge your data together into a clip. But when you are doing that, it's very complicated because you have to use something called a lookup. And you have to make sure that your data are aligned. They need to have the same number of items in there. And it's a lot of headache, especially when you want to use group and group by in here. It gets messy. But with model data, you can use joint model data. So you're joining two data sheets together and tell us which columns you have, they have them in common. The system will does it for you. So we'll look up for you, and you don't have to really write any functions anymore. We do it, and then we give you a brand new data source that containing both data sheets. All right, so the next benefits of this is, of course, if you have your whole team to build in Klipfolio with the same data source, but some of them there may not be as technical as the other ones, you can make sure that your data source looks the way that's easy for everyone on the team to know. So that way, they will be building something that they want and they want to look at, and then you only need to fix this once. So by modeling this data, you can do what we mentioned before and more. There's another thing that I really enjoy doing is, for example, you have a column that tells you the age of each customer that you have, and then you have maybe 2,000 different customers, and they all have their specific age, of course. You can use model data to bucket them. So you can, in the columns, you can say if their age is between 0 and 5, then they can be like toddlers or babies. Maybe they're from like 5 to 15. They're teenagers or small children. I don't have children, so I'm not sure what do you call them. But after 18, they can be like young Up to you how you want to bucket them. When you bucket it, you don't see like 2, 3, 4. You just see the number, the bucket that you put them in. And then it's so much easier when you are building some analyzations about this data. You say, you know, between age 0 and 5, what's their behavior? What their what product are they buying the most, and what activity are they doing the most? So that is definitely possible with this. If you have individual years, ages for each customer, it's very impossible for you to know that data. All right, moving on. Next, so in Klipfolio, of course, when you make let's do this. When you make a model data, you have two options. So this is the model data that we just made. Well, I just made a while back. And then you have two options. One is create a clip. Another one is create a power metric. So what is different between creating a clip and creating a power metric? So when you are building a clip, you are looking for something called customizable builds. So when you're building a clip, you're the one that's choosing which component you want to build it with, and then you need to come in here and start writing different functions, filters, and then like grouping or any apply actions you need to put in here. You need to select, you know, this. You need to select what you want to see, and then change this up to like that, and grouping them. So you're the one deciding what's happening in here. You're the one deciding, oh, I maybe not want to see 2017 to 2019. I need to come in and then filter them to just show year to date, and then giving me 5 months from year to date. So this seems easy because I just use some apply actions, some filters. I didn't use any formulas, but things can get really messy. When you build a power matrix, you don't need to build anything. So let me just open another. I'm going to use the same data source we just had. So I'm going to go into here, getting this same data source, which is the model data. When I click on create a new power metric, they connect to my data. They want us to select a metric value, so they can be just one number. So I'm going to go for maybe, because we used quantity in here, didn't we? Yeah, we use quantity here. So I'm going to choose quantity here as well. And then I'm going to choose my segmentation. So there are going to be 5 I'm choosing. So I'm going to choose products, customer type, country. We don't really need the company name. I'm going to go for sales. That's it. And then the date is the date that we have in there. Next. Save. So this way, Klipfolio is actually building this for us. And as you can see that they did give us from January 1st to May 15th, which is today. I can have them give us monthly, which is the one that we had before. And then I said, I want to look at this year. So this is going to be this year's information. I want to see, you know, last 30 days. And this is how last 30 days is. And I don't look at them in the monthly. I can change them to weekly or daily. And then of course I have all these different types I can work with. I can also apply different segmentation to this. I can say I want them country, but then I will want to look at the customer type in each country. So all this is available for you to use. You can choose different visualization that you want to look at and how you want to design your how you want your data to be presented. It's all possible, but then every single thing that we're clicking here, if I want to do them in the regular clips, I had to bring in another clips and then building it from the scratch. All right. And then the next difference is, clip is a read-only data. So whatever data you have in here in your data sources, this is what we're gonna represent. If, let's say, next day, your data gonna bring in maybe 2018 to 2019's data, on your clips, you won't be able to see any 2017 data anymore. You will only see whatever the data source has. But then, for Power Metrics, different thing is, Klipfolio will remember it for you. So for example, your data coming in maybe just for current year, last year, or 2 years ago. So you bring in 2 years and current year data. But then they say that we move on to 2020, the data you're gonna bring in is gonna be 2018, 2019, and 2020. What happens to 2017 is that Klipfolio remembers it for you. So let's do monthly here. So from this part to this part, this is a recorded history that Klipfolio have done. It's not going to disappear just because your data source is updated. So which means you are building history with Klipfolio. Hence the store historical data. This is well explained when you have, let's say, Instagram. Instagram, they only give you current day's followers. How many followers you have, what but on the current day. They don't really give you your followers' history. So that is perfect when you're using Klipfolio, because every day when your data receiving updates or refreshes, Klipfolio see them as a historical data dot. So we'll link those dots together. Let's say in 2 weeks, you will have 2 weeks of history with Klipfolio. All right, the next difference is Clips has more visualizations than Power Metrics. This one, actually, we have to change it. They just have different visualizations. Last week, we actually added more visualizations for Power Metrics. Now you're gonna have this area charts, and then this tree map, this radar, which I think is amazing on how it looks. Waterfalls, this is a cumulative, and then they add the total at the bottom here, and then also a heat map. So all this, and plus the visualization you have here in the clips like gauge, value pair, layout grid, label images, user input control, sparkline, pictograph, funnel, scatter bubble, map, or news, or HTML. So all of this is available in clips, and all of that is available in Power Metrics. So whatever you see, you are able to build your clips with. This really depends on how your data is, formatted, what kind of result you want to see as your KPIs. You can pick and choose which one fits you better, and you can just say, oh, I want to build maybe a radar is really important for us. Then you use the Power Metrics. I say, but if I say table is really important to us, I want to see a list of available customers, available products, I need to see a table, then build a clip with it. All right. So for clips, it's mostly functions and formulas. For Power Metrics, it's very easy setup. And then for clips, it's only one view for one clip. As I mentioned, if I want to build, let's say, week to week, customer types, I have to build another parallel chart to show that. So whatever we choose here is just going to be the only view we have, unless you put on some drop downs. But drop downs is not going to change your series, and your series is about your quantities. This is always gonna be your quantities. But with power metrics, for example, I have this and I want to keep this, so I'm gonna save this into a clipboard. So let's just do a clipboard right here. So I'm adding this view to this clipboard. I can reconfigure it depending on how I want to see it, what kind of a time period I want to see it, and then do I want to see them in the products, or do I want to see them in a radar but with different selections, different filters? We can decide that. This is something that we're able to decide and then change the view of this. But then when you make clips, you can definitely change the date. Let's say I'm building this one for like April 10th to the May 1st, but the series, which is right now here is sessions, is always gonna be about the sessions. It's not gonna come up with users, not gonna come up with new users. It's just always gonna be about sessions. Same as here. In this power matrix, I can say I don't want to look at them by segment by the country. I want to segment by the sales rep. And they're just gonna be about sales rep. And then if I want the same thing, I can add the same power metric in there. Let me just find the one we did here. These two are the same power metric, but then I want to configure it differently. I want to see them as a pie. And I want them to, change by this, and I want to give them a different time. I want to look at how last 12 months we did, or not much difference. I say last 8 weeks, something like that. So you can change what this view represents. These two are telling you a completely two different stories, but then they are from the same power metric. This is what I mean by multi-views for one metric. Because you're able to segment them with 5, we only choose 4, but you can have 5 different segments, and then you can have different date ranges, and also you can put different filters to it. Some people actually build a complete dashboard with just one power metric, just because how complicated their data is, and then how many different views they can show with the same power metric. All right. So your dashboard, they can contain power metrics like this. They can also contain clips like this. Sorry. They can do something like that. So it depends on what you want to build, what kind of data you have, what kind of KPIs you want. You can pick and choose which one fits your needs better, and they're all gonna fit in one dashboard. All right. Sorry. So this is how you can connect and analyze your data. Make sure that your data coming in a format that looks similar to, let me just find. We always have this live data source in your account. So make sure that your data looks similar to this. Even if you have the JSON format, I will highly suggest you model them into a tablet format that's much easier to view. And then make sure they're all in the columns like this. So when the new things added to the bottom of the columns, because we work with the whole column, we are going to include your new updates in your data. And then if your data has more segments, that's amazing. The reason we didn't choose company name or the contact as a segmentation just because they are going to be one of each. Doesn't make sense when we segment it, they're going to be one of each. So segmentation usually work with, let's say, if I have as distributors and I have distributors multiple times, then I can group them together and then show the data otherwise. All right, so I'm gonna stay here for another 5 minutes. If you have any questions, if you wanna see more samples, I'm happy to assist you with that. Let me know in the questions or chats. But this is how you can connect and analyze your data in Klipfolio. Thank you. All right, Joseph, I think you have a question. Let me know what kind of question you have in the chat or in the Q&A, please. Yes, so when you are, if you're using the email attachment method, every time you click into this email attachment, we generate a brand new email address for you. So usually one email address is for one specific data source. But if you say I have maybe 2 or 3 reports coming from the same application, then generates 3 different data sources because those 3, generates 3 different email addresses because each data source is different and you don't want each override on the other. So make sure that you have 3 different email addresses generated from here and send it to your different data source. What do you mean by which versions of Excel does Klipfolio work with? Any version of Excel? I never had a question like this. If you have a special Excel, you don't know if it works or not, just start a trial and then come in and upload a file, see if it works or not. But I think most Excel sheets should work. I don't think we have Excel sheets in here. No, we don't have Excel sheets in this computer. I will highly suggest using reaching out to your account rep or account manager to set up a call so they can walk you through how the platform works for your use case, and then you can share your data with them. They should be able to okay. If you have, if you receive error messages or anything, email our support. Let them go into your account and take a look. They shouldn't have issues, but we need to do an investigation just because things are always changing and we don't know when they are changed. So we need to maybe investigate in this. So just pick a topic and then let your support know. They should be able to help out. Thank you so much. You are all entitled for a custom demo call So make sure that you reach out to your account rep. They are happy to give you a better walkthrough with your own data. So remember to reach out, and hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.